off, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all, loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in folded hard, win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats, Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025, and you're watching the Loose Cannons podcast, and it is officially Wildcard weekend. I'm your boy, the Samer Ali, hanging out with my intern extraordinaire, Stank Bastard, extremely pale tonight, smoking on a Slim Jim, and of course, in the closet, as always, is our intern Izzy, who is cross-eyed, lazy-eyed, blind, all of the above. But he does his best. He does his best. Stanker, go ahead and light that bad boy because we're about to talk about another Buccaneers playoff game, okay? If you're a Bucs fan, you've been around for a while. These don't come around very often. But currently we're enjoying, I mean, we're in the prime of Buccaneer fandom right now, Stank. Coming off the Tom Brady years, had a Super Bowl, playoffs every single year, winning divisions left and right, Saints fans crying every day. I mean, it's glorious right now.
Yeah, but Samer, why doesn't the Bucs fan base care? They don't care. They don't care. They want our coach fired. Just lots of complaining. They're scared to play in prime time. We had some guy today literally shit himself on Twitter. He was crying to me and Samer because he's that worried about playing under the lights. So it didn't feel like it. This is the time. This is incredible. Like you said, 4 straight division championships, Super Bowl. Right? But yeah, you should feel great.
Should feel great. Yeah. They're spoiled, Stank. I think they're spoiled. They want something to complain about. They can't just live in the moment. Listen, any team can win it when they get here, right? This is just what happens. The New York Giants won as a wild card, unexpected team. Goes in, and they end up beating an undefeated Patriots team that was destined for history. All right, you got the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. You had the Baltimore Ravens with Joe Flacco, who played out of his mind. Absolutely galaxy type of performance from this guy. Unexpected. Carries his team to the playoffs, or through the playoffs into the Super Bowl, and they win the Super Bowl. So it does not matter how you got here. It doesn't really matter what happened leading up to this point. Fresh slate. Doesn't matter if you beat the Detroit Lions in week 2, because you got to face them again at some point in the playoffs. It's going to be a different ball game, right, Stank? Same goes for the Washington Commanders, which is a week 1 rematch. This team is not the same as the team that we face. We're also not the same team that face them coming up this Sunday night, Stank. But let's start on the defense, okay? I think facing this team now with Jane Daniels, who's figured out his way through the NFL rookie season, gotten his feet wet, obviously. Guy's ridiculously good with his legs. It's going to start up front, in my opinion, with Vita, Cansey, Yaya, even Logan Hall playing a major part in this game. The guys up front got to dominate the line of scrimmage, keep the line of scrimmage, and not get too far ahead in terms of pass rushing, because I think if they can stop the run and shore up the middle of that, Stank, I think it'll fare well for us, because that's a lot where Jaden Daniels kind of makes his damage, which is flowing right through the middle of a defensive line that over pursues him, and he's got open fields, and you know how it goes with the Bucs middle of the field on defense as it sits already. So I think it's those 4 guys up front that's going to dictate how this game goes, in my opinion.
Samer, can I go full screen? You know, I don't really ask to do that often. Probably do ask more than you, but I got a message. I got request. Joe Tryon Shoenka. Listen, bud, we love you here. All right. Met you several times, different events. You're a good looking kid, a big guy, right? At times you've been flashy. You look good out there. You've been close. I remember the game against New England, Brady's first year. I was like, holy shit, this guy's going to be the next great pass rusher. And honestly, it's been a little disappointing. So this is, I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading you and I'm pleading with you.
Yeah, it's weird.
Show the fuck up. All right. This is when like greatness is actually made. Okay. Everybody will always remember Sean Murphy Bunting. Every Bucs fan should always remember that guy because he fucking carried us to a Super Bowl. That guy woke up against Washington, oddly enough, and carried this team. So JTS.
I don't think he needs to rush the passer to be effective in this game. I think if Todd Bowles utilizes 5 guys up front and has that guy be the defensive lineman that he utilizes in pass coverage, maybe as a spy on Jaden Daniels, he's the most athletic of the guys out there. He's probably the best of the bunch in terms of going back into pass coverage. And let me tell you what, I'm pretty sure he could probably make a tackle in open field with his athleticism facing a guy like that. I'd rather have him out there than anybody else kind of acting as that weird spy. But Bucs could dominate the line of scrimmage and control it by having 5 guys up front pretty damn easily against a 5-man offensive line, which again would make the Washington Commanders have to kind of change the things that they'd like to do. But
hey, real quick, Plus just hopped in here. He says that the Commanders ranked 22nd in pass blocking via PFF. So Kancey and Villa should be factors. And that actually jumps into this as well. The Buccaneers overall this season, they had 46 sacks, which is tied for 6th in the league. They had the second highest blitz percentage out of all the teams in the NFL. So I would expect them boys to like really get after the quarterback and make Jaden Daniels uncomfortable a little bit more than what we saw in week 1.
Yeah, but Izzy, there's a cost with doing that, right?
Yeah.
There's a cost with being the second most blitzing. There's a reason guys are running wide open out there. And it's not just because we have UPS drivers trying to cover NFL wide receivers. It's more than that. We don't have numbers in the secondary because we're trying to manufacture pass rush with all these games. We're not the only team that does it. We're not the only team that drops our big guys into coverage and all those types of things. And Todd was, that's been his forte for a long time. What Todd's defense looks like when he's got some horses out there is completely different. But, I'm not, none of us are patient when it comes to it. We see what we see. It's ugly. Doesn't even look like a NFL defense at times. And it doesn't matter. What happened in the regular season doesn't matter. We forgive you, Todd. We do.
Yeah, but you can't, like you said, you can't blitz Jaden Daniels now. Because over the course of this season, especially if you're going to play soft behind it, he's done really well against it. I'm not a big fan of him in terms of his passing ability yet because I still think he's very young and raw at that stuff. But he does miss reads. He does get rushed. He does hold the ball on when he gets confused. We saw the Atlanta Falcons, who aren't a very good pass rushing defense, get to him and get sacks in that game that we needed them to win. The difference was they moved his throwing platform and he started using his legs and they really focused on running the ball. And that kind of allowed the cheat factor that I call it on his legs are the cheat code when you play against him. But the Bucs, if they want to truly stop his ability to move the ball down the field, it's play tight coverage. Play tight coverage. And in my opinion, I believe a couple other people on Twitter have floated this idea out there too. 5-man front, have JTS be that guy that's kind of floating around back there and pick your spots. But you can't over-rush him. You can't over-pursue him. But in terms of his ability to run the ball, I mean, they're not an offense to scoff at either, Stank. They're 7th in total offense. They are 17th in passing offense, but they're 3rd in rushing. 154 yards a game. And 52.4 yards per game come from number 5 back there, which is a lot. That's 1/3 of the production. And sometimes he's the leading rusher on the team. But a lot of that comes from teams not knowing how to play him, in my opinion. But I think if we look at the Eagles game last year in the playoffs, this year earlier against Todd Bowles does have a way of stopping a very similar quarterback in, what's his name, Jalen Hurts. Although I think he's a better passer at times. Again, he's a rookie. Sure. He's a rookie, but there's moments where that guy holds the ball too long, tries to use his legs too often. I wouldn't be surprised to see Todd do something similar.
Jalen's more like Russell Wilson. Like he's mobile, He can hurt you with his feet, but he's kind of like a little dumpling out there.
But if you give him those lanes, if you give him those lanes, he's going to take them. And I think it's key for the Bucs to not do that. Don't overrush him. Kind of like that Michael Vick, recipe that they used to kind of draw up all the time, and only the Bucs are able to execute it, which is rush to a certain extent and then kind of squeeze the pocket on him and just try to make him make decisions. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about Todd starting to add, post-snap and pre-snap, changes, which do something like that against this kid, probably confuse him, make him hold the ball a little bit longer. Can't just give him the answers to the test with the coverage being really soft every single time and letting him pick us apart. I think that's disaster right there. And I think it starts up front with those guys, though. We went up front with Vita, Kancey, and Yaya, and Logan Hall, and Anthony Nelson. On first down, I think we have a really good day.
Yeah, Kancey also didn't play week 1.
Correct.
Yeah, Kancey missed a couple of games.
It took him a while to get going this year, but he still led the team in sacks. So he's a bit of an X factor. Obviously, we're missing quite a few pieces, but having pressure up the middle. Luke Crompton said it. Tackling. We've got to be tackling. We got to come out early and tackle well. He's been a guy who will kind of take what the defense gives him as well, and we're a defense that just gives things up sometimes. So, I don't know, but Todd in the playoffs, different guy. He's going to have something cooked up for this kid. He's still a rookie.
Still a rookie, exactly.
And this is a different level of pressure. So far, the kid has stood up, right? We owe him some gratitude for allowing us or helping us get to where we're at right now. His best friend plays running back for our football team. So, there's a lot. We all know each other here. Okay. This is going to be a hell of a game. Playoff football in Tampa under the lights, under the red lights, If you've never been in the stadium under the red lights, even though the stadium's, 60-40, there's gonna be a lot of Washington fans in the stadium for sure. It's still an exciting atmosphere. Maybe not 60-40 with DC got fans. I don't think they travel that deep, but they might. And I'm sure Buck fans are just bending over saying, "Take my tickets, honey." So whoa. that's just our MO here. Yeah.
But I think I'm with you on what Todd Bowles does differently in the playoffs. I think he comes up with better game plans. Will the guys be able to execute it, which has kind of been some of the issue this year? Antoine Winfield looks like he's trending towards playing. It looks like Jamel Dean and his broken knees are all going to be available. Mike Edwards, I'm not sure, believe he'll be available. So it looks like we'll have a good chunk of the guys we need. And I think Pless mentioned it in the chat earlier too. He said something about simulated pressures, which is kind of similar to what I was trying to say is show this kid something pre-snap and then change it post-snap. You got to constantly be not so much exotic, but confusing. You've got to be able to make him think and hold that ball a little bit longer, and hopefully you can get to him. And that's what the Atlanta Falcons were able to do. They're not a very good defense, in my opinion. But overall, Stank, their team, their offense, even though they have high rankings, I think a lot of that has to do with their ability to run the ball with his legs, which opens things up for a lot of their offense. But I don't think they're a very good football team, man. No offense, but I don't think they're that great. They played some weaker opponents. Sure, we have as well. So some of that is, smoke and mirrors, but we were able to win pretty soundly against a kid who burned us for 2 touchdowns, by the way, in that first game. So he does use his legs. He's not going to hesitate, but it's about tackling, one-dimensional offense, kind of forcing him to throw the ball. I think if you do that, like what the Atlanta Falcons did in the first half of that game, I think you have them where they are. And I think if the Bucs early on can force a couple of punts or a couple of misreads or a couple of missed throws by this kid and that turn into 3 and outs or maybe 6 plays and a punt, then the Bucs offense can turn around, build a slight lead, and then kind of force them to play catch-up, which will force them to kind of stay off their game plan. And that's where the defense can complement the offense in this game where if they start out fast. I think that's the key. I'm not so much worried about the other side of the ball.
I would just keep it. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, Izzy.
I would just keep an eye on, we all know that Jaden Daniels can run the ball really well. He had over 896 yards rushing wise, 891 rushing yards in the entire season. But the outside weapons that he has as well, you got Terry McLaurin, who had 82 receptions, 1,096 yards with 13 touchdowns as their leading receiver. You had Zach Ertz, who was tight end 1, who's, if you look at the Buccaneers, they've had issues with tight ends. 66 receptions, 654 yards, 7 touchdowns. One of the go-to guys outside of McLaurin, and then you got Olamide Zaccheaus as well, 506 yards with 3 touchdowns. Not a big target, but if Ertz and McLaurin, they're not open or available. Zacchaeus is known to be one of their burners. He can get down the field quickly. We saw him make some ridiculous catches.
But Izzy, a lot of their shit works off of their ability to run the ball. And a lot of that comes off of Jane Daniels being able to move the pocket, move the chains.
They did get Austin Eckler back, though. Eckler's going to be back.
They do have Austin Eckler as well. Yeah, but Brian Robinson Jr., he was a threat as well. He did accumulate what?
I've watched a handful of the last 5 or 6 games for the most part. And a lot of it has to do with Jane Daniels' feet, his ability to move the chains, and just, their ability to utilize his skill set to its maximum, and not so much all these other weapons kind of making plays. Because I like I said, and no knock on this kid, he's a rookie. I get it, he's learning, but just like we saw with Lamar Jackson early on in his career, his passing is not his forte. And not only that, his ability to read and understand defenses is not his forte. When you just go watch the first half of that Atlanta game, he was confused a lot. They got him a lot of times where he didn't know what he was doing. He was holding the ball a lot, and that's how the Atlanta Falcons are able to get sacks. And again, like I said, they're not a good sacking team. I don't know how good we are. I think the numbers are a little skewed. But if we're able to get pressure in his face and kind of force him to hold the ball or run into the outside like that, I think we have him where we want him. And that's why I keep going back to this 5-man front, possibly having a spy behind there. I don't like the idea of Levante David being a spy because I don't think he's – sorry, Levante. You don't got the foot speed anymore, buddy.
Here we go.
You just don't.
Hey, Izzy, how you going to leave your brother, Joel Elrican, out there hanging in the frozen tundra? He's a Loose Cannons member. Okay, so he gets priority. He said he'll be at the game. He's ready to be loud.
A lot of people are also asking if there's going to be red end zones at Ray J.
Sammer, I know that you made a phone call. Is that going to happen?
I made a phone call. I demanded it. We're going to see if they're going to go through with it.
Are we going to have the?
Rodzilla says it looks like they've got Izzy locked in a basement somewhere.
We do.
And also, apparently, I got the bat signal blasting on me.
Rodzilla, the motherfucking killer. That's a name I haven't heard in a dog's age. MK says, "What's your favorite Black and Mild flavor?" First of all, do I look like I smoke Black and Milds?
Yeah.
No, that's my weed head. Right?
Jim.
He smokes Black and Mild wine wood tips.
No, you look like in high school you were a Black and Mild kid.
Hey, sure. somebody.
You were rocking Jenkos and Black and Milds, weren't you?
No Jenkos.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
For the smokers out there, somebody once it was a night of a debauchery. Somebody blew me a shotgun with a Black and Mild, and I puked. So yeah, that's back when I had no money and smoking anything, not anything, smoking whatever.
You're a shoeless jack, dude. Of course, you still don't have any money. Let's move on, man. Let's Izzy, you just interrupted me after we switched segments. Do you understand
I didn't know
what that means, man?
Wow.
Hold on.
When I say
you just cock-blocked this whole transition.
You just transition. Like I said about the defense starting up front on the offense, it'll also start up front with the fat guys on offense there. I think you agree with me, Stank. We're going into a game here where why not run the ball? Okay, the Commanders are 30th in rush defense. Okay, they allow 137.5 yards per game on the ground. We are 4th in rushing offense. We get almost 150 yards a game. We're 3rd in passing offense, and we're also the 3rd total offense in the NFL. But it all starts up front with those big boys, the fat guys, the Graham Bartons, the Tristan Wirfses, the Cody Mocks, the Luke Gedekes, all those guys. Ben Bredesen. It sounds like a John Gruden name. Starts up front with the big boys, man. We got to run the ball.
You kind of sounded like John Gruden when you said Graham Barton. You got a little Grudenism in you right now. And yes, B-Shuck, I did say that's my weed head wife. My weed head. Yeah, bro. She likes smoking good weed. That's it. What's wrong with that?
It's 2025. Nobody says weed head, by the way. It's more like smoker or maybe a pothead.
I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. I still say old shit like weed head.
Weed has a negative connotation, but speaking negative connotation, they have a terrible rush defense. The Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever the fuck you want to call them, the Washington football team has a terrible rush defense. The Bucs are running the ball. I hope the Bucs focus on that. Take away their soul by rushing the ball down their throats. The Atlanta Falcons did it well in the first half of that game. Like I said, Bucs should be able to do it better because the Bucs have 3 legitimate running backs. Baker Mayfield also a 4th running back, if you guys haven't found out. Dude's a fucking dog on the ground, okay? He's got legs. He's got just He's stout. He's hard to tackle. He knows how to get his shoulders down. Guy's going to run you over to get yardage. But no, all seriousness, run the fucking ball, please, Liam. Run the fucking ball and play a little old school just to start the game. Obviously, you got to sprinkle in everything else, and I don't know if they got to use the pass to set up the run, but man, don't make it too difficult. Just run the ball. They can't stop it.
We got this guy who I think he's just itching to get out on that field. And Bucky's special. We're going to see some incredible shit out of Bucky. Bake just guts people with his feet, but I feel like one in the playoffs. I think he's got something to prove. I think he's just been ready to explode. And I hope he gets his opportunity. Pass game, run game, pass blocking, whatever the case may be. Under the lights, I feel like we're going to see, a Rachaad White resurgence. Not that he's had a bad season, but you got to feed the hot hand, and Bucky's been that hot guy. So we've got the ability. And but it all starts up front. All starts with the guys you all name: Bread and Butter Bredesen, Cody. The rookie who's no longer a rookie, right? He got smacked around a little bit in that first game. No longer is he that rookie. Okay, he knows what a bad bitch he can be. And then our tackles, who are the best tandem in the game. These guys, it's business as usual. We were here last year. We've been here before. We won a playoff game. We went into Detroit, nearly upset. The darlings of the NFL. I don't think our blood pressure is going to be even, spiking at all. These guys are going in there. This is a business home game. And I look forward to just smacking the shit out of them and letting everybody know, hey, we're here. Why not us?
I mean, if they can establish that run stank, if they can use that run to set up some passes. And to your point with Rachaad, Todd did say that they do need to figure out a way to get him the ball more. He needs to have more touches. It just makes no sense to me from an offensive coordinator standpoint to completely ignore a weapon like him. And he had over 1,400 all-purpose yards last year with Dave Canales accidentally throwing him the ball, like without actual intent, and with him forcing him to run the ball. I get it, but what I'm saying is even last year he was able to manufacture over 1,400 total yards. Now you got him and you got Bucky. Figure out ways to get him the ball, whether it's through the counter run and mixing it up. In my opinion, last week and over the last few weeks, they've been a little predictable in the pony package. And whenever Rachaad's out there, it's almost kind of tipping your hand to the defense that we're probably going to pass the ball, because he's usually been in there for pass pro and very rarely a pass thrown his way. So I think you got to, even if you run him just to keep things honest, but when you have him on the field, there's no need to not even throw him the ball. So, and I'm not saying that because I'm his friend or anything like that, or that we're a Rachaad podcast. But, man, utilize the weapon you have. Get the ball in his hands. Open that defense up of the 49ers, the Commanders, and take advantage and utilize both these guys. And I think that helps everyone. It helps Bucky run the ball better when they can't predict when he's actually touching the ball when they're both on the field. So I agree with you. But, again, it all starts up front. The guys, I don't think we're going to have too much problem pass protecting. But I'd love to see us just kind of establish the run, force it down these guys' throats, and just kind of take their will away and just kind of beat them up in that first half. And you do that in the first half of a game, they go in, they're going to be scrambling, and things really open up in the second half. And I think the Bucs have the ability to do that, man. This is going to be a good game for us on that side of the ball, in my opinion.
I kind of hope it's a boring game. I kind of hope we shove the ball down their throat. We make them predictable. Baker takes the easy throws. It's nickel and dime. We're a red zone football team. They don't want to see us in the red zone. I just hope it's one of those games where we're not killing ourselves, not dropping balls, and we just look efficient out there. Because when we look like that, we win football games. We know how to score. 6 is as confident as they come in this league. There's not a more confident quarterback in the playoffs right now. Not one. Lamar's got everything to prove. He hadn't proven shit. You got big boy up in Buffalo, doubters. There's only maybe one guy who's more confident, 15. That's about it. This Baker knows what he's made of. I think he feels like, it is us against the rest of the league. Nobody's giving us a chance. Nobody's predicting that we're going to take the trophy home this year. And that's exactly where this team needs to be at. That's the mentality here. We talked about it last week. Pro Bowl snub, all that shit. And who carried us last week? It was Baker. We don't win that game without Baker Mayfield putting us on his back. We talked about it on Monday. And you know what? I don't think there's anything stopping him. Liam said in his press conference today, Baker's been locked the fuck in. You know, this isn't, I'm sure there's a little grab ass and jovial Baker in there, but the guy's locked in. And I'm just ready for Sunday to get here, man. Win, I'm going to be happy. You know what I mean?
100%. Listen, here's the other thing, a funny little stat. Only 4.1% of the number 3 seeds since this seeding has been established in the NFL have made it to the Super Bowl. That's 6 number 3 seeds have made it to the Super Bowl. And out of those 6, only 2 have actually won the Super Bowl. So yeah, underdog, chances, everything's completely written against the Bucs. Doesn't mean we can't win the first matchup, obviously. We've done it. I think I don't remember if we were 3rd or 4th seed last year, but win your home playoff game. That's what you're playing for. You get a home playoff game. You start it all up front on both sides of the ball. You win the trenches. Izzy, do you have something to add?
Yeah, so 2 things. First off, like and subscribe, please. Super chats also as well. We really appreciate it. Second off, the run game has been spectacular all year long. 2,536 yards between Sean Tucker, Bucky Irving, and Rashad White. Run the freaking ball, dude. Like, that's been the biggest strength of this team. And Baker as well, like you guys added as well. Baker Mayfield, 378 rushing yards with a 6.3 yard average. Who would have thought this guy had wheels?
I told you from the very beginning, this guy.
He's shown it since he's been here.
Yeah. He could do it anyway. If you asked him to go out there and play inside linebacker and be the quarterback, he'd do it. And you know what? He'd do it well. He'd do it well.
I mean, yeah. Okay. He did play scout defense.
I don't want to be, rude and disrespectful.
He'd be an upgrade to KJ Britt.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but watch out, Levante. Number 6.
Wait.
Number 6.
Wait. Baker's taking Levante's spot, really?
I mean, he's gonna go out. He's gonna outshine him if they play him next to him. I would not be shocked if number 6 outshined him at linebacker. Okay, that's no knock on Levante.
We're finding out that Sammer hates Levante David.
I love Levante.
Dude, what's going on?
I love
Levante. This entire season.
I love him.
You have been so disrespectful.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You can't with that.
You want to know why? You want to know why, Stank?
In one breath say that Levante David is washed. He can't play anymore. He's slow.
I want him to hear it. I want him to hear it. He watches.
Played on repeat.
Say that and then say, "Oh, I'm a Levante David."
He watches the show, Stank. He watches the show, and I need a Levante David game from Levante David this weekend. Okay, and you know how I'm going to get it out of him? I'm going to tell him he's fucking old. I'm going to tell him the age is caught up. I'm going to tell him that it looks like he's slowing down. I'm going to tell him that I could plug in a quarterback who's an absolute dog, by the way, and he'd possibly outshine him at inside linebacker. That's how I'm going to get a Levante David game out of Levante David this Sunday night against the Washington Commanders. You know what? I predict a forced fumble and a fumble recovery and a sack from Levante David this Sunday. Mark my words. Those of you who are gamblers out there, throw it down. I'm telling you, that's a stat line. He's getting it this Sunday night. Levante David, okay, as much as I want to be a hater on him, I fucking love this guy, but this guy is an absolute stud in the playoffs, okay? He hasn't been there very often, but when he's there, he fucking plays his ass off. Let me tell you what, Stank. He won a fucking Super Bowl with that man playing ridiculous football. Last year, he was great in the playoffs as well. Prove it to me again, Levante. Prove it to me again. Make me look like a fucking idiot. I'll gladly eat the fucking crow. Gladly.
Bryce says Jizzy can't help the shadow. His mom won't let him use the good lights. Listen, Sammer set Izzy up with the Al-Qaeda lighting, bro. He looks like a hostage in that room. Now that I look at it, bro, this looks like you're being held there against your will. Have you left that closet this entire season? I don't think you have.
Notice, Stank, it's a very tight shot. It's a very tight shot. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
It's kept that way. He's not allowed to move.
He's fed me well, I'll tell you that much. He's provided me some meals, but I can't move out of here.
Yeah, listen, I don't know what more you need. You're in podcast camp, okay? You're going to stay there until I deem you worthy of leaving.
He got a long way to go, bro.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, Izzy. If you were to accidentally figure out a way to break out of there, you wouldn't know where the fuck you were. I mean, you might be in a room that's actually on a ship in the middle of the ocean. You don't know.
Oh, Lord. We're going back. What was that movie? Yeah, that makes sense. Look, okay. So
prison that was on a ship, or
yes,
what was the movie?
That movie.
What was the movie with Sean Connery and
Sylvester Stallone.
No. What's the movie with Sean Connery, Stank, and damn it,
bro, I don't know.
Name?
It's 2025. Sean Connery hasn't been in a movie
where they try to
like
where they break
years.
No, they break into a prison that's like in the middle of nowhere though, on like an island. Whatever the fuck it was called. Anyway.
The Rock.
Hey, real quick.
The Rock. That was the movie. The Rock. Yes.
Luke Crompton, another old curmudgeon of a Bucs fan, instantly knew what you were talking about. He probably has it on VHS right now.
I'm watching that movie tonight. After the college football playoff game and Penn State somehow beat.
He's got that movie on DVR.
Well, hey, how would Rock talk about the movie The Rock, you think? Our Rock.
Here's a guy who comes in out of nowhere. He's got to get himself to a prison, but not only to a prison, he's got to break into it.
Yes.
Right? He's got to get into the prison.
Let's go.
And then he's got to get out. But here's the catch. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's on an island. It's called The Rock. I'm Rock Riley, but this is the Rock Riley. Okay. He's got to get in. He's got to get out, but he can do it because you know what? He's got Baker Mayfield. He's going to get in there. He's going to operate the boat. He's going to get him on the island, and then he's going to get off. It's going to be great. You know what? I'm no Siskel and Ebert, but I'll tell you, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Is Siskel and Ebert? Wow.
He just dusted off the Siskel and Ebert. By the way,
that's amazing.
Easily my favorite impression you do.
That's awesome.
Easily.
Really?
It's easily.
That was awesome.
What about Rocky talking about The Rock?
No. Rocky, listen, we know you've done Rocky quite a bit on here.
That's funny.
For some reason, Rock hits differently.
Here I am. I'm Rock Riley over here with
the fact that you've done it to
Rocky.
him, with him.
Here's what's funny, Stank. He actually has interviewed Sylvester Stallone. So this has actually happened. Yeah. Here I'm Rock Riley here with a guy that you all know. You probably know him as Sylvester or Sly, but I like to call him Rock because he's my guy. I love it. Hey, welcome to the Rock Riley podcast. Hey, thank you for having me on, Rock.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Okay.
That's awesome. Hey, okay, so let's reeling it back in really quick. So Washington's defense, they're middle of the pack.
Already had their stats on screen. Izzy, come on, try to keep up, dude.
Did you have them as 30th against tight ends?
I mean, Stank is one of the best at tight ends.
And guess who? Who wants to see our tight end room right now? By the way,
yeah.
Who wants to see this tight end room? You got a bunch of guys who've now proven they can play, right? You got Crash Dummy. You got Crash
Three
Test
nobodies.
Dummy Cade.
3 nobodies.
Crash Test Dummy Cade is going to be back.
He's back.
Right. You got Devin Culp, who looks like a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
I say it's a Culp.
I don't know. I call it the Culp cult.
Yeah. The Culp cults.
Join the Culp. Hey, Stank, here's the other thing.
The Culp of personality.
Great that you bring him up because we're talking about the rushing attack. Cade Otton has been missed in run blocking.
Yeah,
believe it or not, over the last few weeks. So having him come back into this game probably going to help us run the ball even better than what we have. The last few weeks, it's kind of taken a little bit of a dip, if we're being honest. Since that Dallas game, it hasn't been great. But you bring him back, he's kind of been the missing piece of that. And then you're able to maybe sprinkle in Devin Culp, who, by the way, made 2 massive third down catches for us last week. Guy's proven that when he's out there, he can make plays. He's a weapon. He's not a big person, but, man, he's a fucking pass-catching weapon as a tight end. You mix him up, you got mismatches. I think the pass blocking is a big deal. Not being able to run block is a big deal because they want their guys to be able to do both of those at the same time as well as catch the ball, Izzy. And if you can't do that, it kind of ties us in terms of when we put you on the field. But we saw Culp spread out as wide receiver a few times on Sunday. Saw him like that a week before that as well. So that's another big name to watch there. But for sure, dude, having Cade back, it's going to be great for the run. It's going to be great for Bucky. It's going to be great for all these guys. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Speaking of awesome.
Don't forget Payne Durham, bro. The serial killer.
Oh, Payne.
Right? All he does is catch touchdowns, that guy. So watch the fuck out.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Hey, he's proven that he's a dog. I doubted him. I said, I don't like it. I don't like he's wearing number 87. I don't think he's great, but he's come out there and he's filled the shoes and played the role absolutely as well as you could ask for. I believe he's got 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
What's wrong with 87? He's the best number 87 tight end.
No, don't you dare disrespect Keenan McCardell.
Oh, my bad. I said tight end. Tight end.
That number should be retired simply because of Keenan McCardell. Okay, end of story. That's just disrespectful. I don't care about Gronk. He was only here for a little bit. I love him though. Speaking of awesome and loving, how about Baker fucking Mayfield? Stank. Guy's been on fire to close the season. The last 5 games, he's been absolutely on a tear. Can he carry that on into the postseason? And before you answer that question, look what this guy's done over the last 5 weeks, Stank. 73% completion rate, okay? He's averaging 293.2 yards passing per game. Thrown for 1,466 yards in 5 games. 16 passing touchdowns. He's averaging over 3 passing touchdowns a game. He's only thrown 5 picks. He has a 120.3 quarterback rating. That is fucking ridiculous. For all the guys who have doubted him, all the haters, for him to come in not only and play the entire season this well, but over the last 5 games, clutch as fuck and coming in clutch in almost every fourth quarter. Even the game we lost in Dallas, guy was clutch in the fourth quarter when it mattered. He's been on fire. Stank, can he continue it into the postseason?
Absolutely. And he's done it with a banged up receiving core. You know, Mike's had that hamstring injury. You got a rookie out there who's caught 7 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks. You got Naughty Miller, and you got a bunch of other band of idiots out there who just kind of show up whenever they feel like it. And somehow Baker's made these guys look like one of the best receiving cores on the planet. Obviously 13 is 13, and playoff 13, is something completely different. And we haven't talked about the matchup. I'm sure that's one of your bullet points, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more. But nobody's higher right now than old Mikey. Nobody's feeling better about themselves right now than old Mike. So I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be a heavyweight bout. I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait. That's if Marshawn isn't a bitch and decides, we're too hurt to play. Show up. How about that? Mike's always injured.
Has he
hold him anyways? So
has he even played well this season? Has he even played at all?
Hasn't played like one game for them.
I'm not. Much. Everyone's making a big deal out of that matchup, and is he going to try to get under Mike's skin? Yeah, he's going to try, but I feel like Mike is on a different level of focus. He's a Hall of Famer right now, right? And so when you're a Hall of Famer, you're up here. You don't
a Hall of Famer.
You don't, yeah, but officially, you know what I mean? Like it's official, right? And so, like you don't play in the mud with the fucking pigs, right? You elevate. You're up here now. You don't worry about that guy's opinion. That guy's just going to try to get in his head and then under his skin. As long as Mike doesn't respond to that, and Mike should be able to have himself a game. But since Mike has come back, Stank, the Bucs, I believe, have averaged the most yards and points per game since his return from injury. Mm-hmm. I may have that flip-flopped or wrong on one of them, but he's absolutely been a difference maker. And we were doing a lot of this stuff without him too, man. No offense to him, but we were moving the ball somehow in offense with him and Chris out. He comes back, and it's no surprise that him and Baker on the same page. Baker's been ridiculous, man. And I'm with you. I think Baker's going to absolutely continue doing what he's doing. Yep. He has a really good grasp of the offense. He has an understanding of the offense. He understands to take care of the ball. But man, that throw he made to J-Mac in the corner of the end zone, he had an easier throw across the middle than Mike. But that's the reason you live with his gunslinger mentality. That's the reward that you get with the risk factor, right? People are like, oh yeah, he's got to take what's there. Sometimes you got to live with when he does that, because that's the kind of magic that he can put on. Is that play, a throw off of 1 foot running? I mean, I don't even know if there's a window to throw that ball into, and an absolute rope. And that right there is that's Baker Mayfield, dude. And having that on your side in a playoff game is more than an equalizer against a guy like Jane Daniels, in my opinion.
The GOAT said that's one of the best throws he's ever seen. Okay. That was Brett Favre-esque. And the funniest thing I saw today, Jenna Lane was asking Tristan Wirfs about, Baker being kind of like Brett Favre. And Tristan was like, I have no idea what Brett Favre looks like. He had no clue. No context. He's like, Brett Favre, I don't know what his game was like.
Didn't he grow up a Midwestern boy? What are we talking about? How does he not know Brett Favre?
No, he knew about Brett Favre, but only when he was playing with the Vikings. Other than that, no, he didn't know.
I feel like wasn't he an Iowa kid?
He was.
Yeah, Iowa kid.
I feel like you're an Iowa kid. You root for the Packers, don't you?
I mean,
are you kind of in the middle of nowhere?
The only team they have is the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones. I don't even know who they would adopt as an NFL team.
No shit, Izzy. That's why I just fucking said it. Obviously, they don't have an NFL team.
Who would they adopt? Like, who would they be like? This
I
is
just
my
said
team.
I believe it would be the Green Bay Packers. Maybe Minnesota Vikings. I really don't know.
You grew up in Iowa. I think you're more of a wrestling fan, anyways.
Izzy, look up a U.S. map.
Yeah, Sanjay. Okay, I see you running your mouth in there. I thought I slapped you around enough to where you wouldn't come back, but you want to start talking game, That's fine, bro. You want to talk about this fan base and this franchise? Your team hasn't been relevant since Ronald Reagan was in office, and you weren't even alive yet, bro. Okay, not even relevant whatsoever.
He has no idea who Reagan is.
No, I promise you didn't know who that guy is. So shut your fucking mouth.
He said Buccaneers play in a cupcake division and barely got to 10 wins. Calm down.
10 wins, baby.
Last time you guys fell into the playoffs, we destroyed you.
Yeah. Listen.
We did.
And
so,
people aren't talking about this, but we have a revenge factor. Okay, we have another wide receiver with the last name Shepard on this team. And I believe the Washington Redskins owe us a wide receiver touchdown to the last name Shepard. Okay? They stole one from us years and years ago. Stank knows which one I'm talking about. It was a drop touchdown. But it wasn't a drop because it was actually a catch. It was when the rules were fucking bullshit and bogus. And so you guys owe us a Sterling Shepard touchdown. And you know what? It's happening. Sterling Shepard is going to catch a touchdown in the back of the end zone on a Baker Mayfield scramble in the red zone. Mark my words, it's happening. I predicted things before. I knew about the duck. Stank saw it. I mean, I knew about the fucking duck, okay? So take that one to the bank too, as well as my Levante David stat line. Stanker, it's time. It's time for our keys to the game, man. It's time for our keys to the game and our score predictions. I hope you're ready because you're going first, man.
Ooh. Keys of the game. Let's bring that rookie back down to earth, okay? We've got some talent on this defensive line. I need Vita Vea to bring the lawnmower back. Okay, it's time to bring this guy down to earth. This isn't regular season football. All right, this isn't LSU. This isn't the SEC. Okay, this is Raheem James Stadium. This right here, we won a Super Bowl here. Just a couple days ago. So pack a lunch, motherfucker, because they're coming for you. And I hope Vita does, put a little body weight on him. Not trying to injure the kid. I just want him to know the weight, the gravity of this game, the gravitas, as you would say.
Yes.
Kalijah Cansey. Okay, Logan Hall, who's quietly had a hell of a season. Crazy to say that, but he's had a really good season.
Yes.
Those guys on the inside, Shaq Barrett, who Cam Brate, by the way, said, kind of, had a dad bod in there last week. He's in here, getting ready. We've got some guys who've been there before. We've got Super Bowl rings in this locker room still. And I feel like this could be the defense's time to shine. For some reason, I felt really poorly, for good reason, all season about this defense. So my key is put a hurting on Jaden. That's my key. I only got one key. I'm not doing multiple keys. And you know what? I played around with you guys all season this year, right? With my score predictions.
Yeah.
And I've been all over the place, right? I've been up, I've been down, and I'm just going to pull numbers randomly out of the air. All right, because I'm kind of tired of the shtick. I know you guys are too. So I don't know. Redskins 12, Buccaneers 31. A real, just a barn burner. All right, a barn burner in our barn with the red lights on. It's gonna feel like some red light therapy under the lights. Just cook those motherfuckers. Cook them. Send them back to the town that isn't really a town. Washington D.C. Fake town. Fake town. Everything about them is fake this year. And let's bring them down to earth.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sting. What a score prediction, by the way.
Thanks,
that was a good one.
I believe you've nailed every one so far this season, by the way.
On the money.
You've been on the money just every single week. Man, listen, my keys. I got two keys, okay? Contain the rookie. All right? Just contain him. Don't let him get comfortable. Just contain him in that pocket and just squeeze on him. And Kalijah Cansey is going to be a major part of this game because he didn't play in week 1, but his emergence this year, he's got 7.5 sacks, and I believe he's missed 5 games. He came in, he's been ridiculously productive, especially recently. And so is Yaya, by the way. Yaya's come on very, very strong. I believe those guys.
Defensive player of the week, right?
Logan Hall, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey, and Yaya. Just squeeze on that kid. And I think that's the recipe to kind of get him uncomfortable, make him have to look around. It's going to be up to Todd Bowles to disguise things and change things post-snap, pre-snap, that whole deal, so the kid can't get comfortable with what he's seeing. And I think you have an opportunity not to get him down, but just to kind of contain his ability to be who he is and make him uncomfortable. And that's my first key. Second key, man, let Baker fucking bake. Just let him bake, okay? And the best way to do that, by the way, is to establish a good running game, but, don't get too crazy. But yeah, let him play ball because Baker showed that he could put this team on his back. He's done it the last 5 weeks, okay? He's done it. He's done it time and time again when it matters. He's put this team on his back, and he's been able to carry us. So let him do that. Let him fire it up and stink. You know what I want to say? I think I would not be shocked if Baker comes out in the first quarter and pulls off one of those, light a fire, fireworks, spark plug type of plays for this team just to kind of wake them up, just in case they're not awake. Because I do think some of that sluggishness last week had something to do with the fact that they were trying to get Mike the ball. Your dog's probably going to have better take than you have all night, just an FYI, and he can't even fucking talk, or she can't even talk.
First of all.
She can't even talk. So, yeah, my second key, let Baker bake. And my score prediction, I think the Bucs continue the trend of stopping teams in the second half, and I believe they hold the Washington Commanders to 1 field goal the entire second half. Probably comes in the third quarter. Bucs win 31-16. 31-16. They make a slight comeback in the second quarter. They don't look back, and I think the defense pins its ears back, has a little bit of fun with that rookie. And, hey, this is the NFL, kid. It ain't going to be easy, man. He's going to be a hell of a quarterback, I think, in my opinion. I liked him coming in the draft, but listen, you ain't going to win your first playoff game, okay? Todd Bowles, he's got a little something for you. And Vita Vea is very heavy, okay? Kalijah Kancey, very fast. I mean, I think they're going to be ready up front. I think that's where it's going to start. And
we need like a nickname for the tandem. You got one that's buttery, fast, and smooth, and the other one just bringing the girth. But
Kalijah's secretly very strong, by the way. Got a little Aaron Donald in that guy. And he's a complete dog when he gets on the field. He's a nice guy off the field. A little bit of edge to him, which you want. But when he gets on the field, he's absolutely a monster. He's very mean. Very Warren Sapp-esque stank in terms of his attitude, which I fucking love.
It's the playoffs, right? These are memorable. These are NFL films type games, right? These are legendary moments where guys make a name for themselves, where the whole world is watching, the entire world. Somewhere in Tokyo, they're going to be watching this game. They're going to be drinking sake, eating that good Kobe, Wagyu, and they're going to be watching Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea. You could become an international superstar on this big stage. And I feel like it's our coming out party. I don't know. I don't feel a disappointment coming. I feel just an ass whooping coming. That's what I feel. Washington's turn.
One other thing to keep in mind, Yaya played in the first game, but Yaya was coming off of no preseason action. And remember, he was very limited in training camp with that injury. He's a completely different player right now than he saw in week 1. So that's another guy that Jaden Daniels hasn't really seen in terms of our defense, in terms of pursuit, in terms of angles. He's not the greatest pass rusher, don't get me wrong, but he's come on strong, tackles for loss. He's playing the run game really well. But if he's able to get around that edge or even just push through some of those guys, he should be able to create some havoc and push that pocket. Like I said, squeeze that pocket on Jaden Daniels, and I think you have a real good recipe for success. And Todd Bowles, please let these guys play up on the line of scrimmage a little bit more, just a little bit more. He did a little bit in the second half last week, did a little bit in the second half the week before that. Let him do it, because I think if you do that, Jane doesn't have anywhere to throw the ball. And if you get burnt, man. I think you just got to live with it. Just like we lived with it against the Rams that year, where we could have possibly repeated. Got to live with it sometimes, man. If you get burnt, you get burnt. And I think that's a recipe to beat them either way, though. Izzy, do you have a score prediction for the first time this season?
Yes, I do.
I don't want to hear it.
We're going to go ahead. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button.
Like and subscribe. Okay, we've got 100%. Hundreds of people watching right now.
Oh, yeah, we got 106, 120.
That's just on YouTube. On Twitter, hundreds more. Like and fucking subscribe, okay? Yeah. If we don't win this game, it's your fault.
If.
Wait.
I'm blaming them if it's their fault because they didn't subscribe.
There is no if we don't win. We are winning. Okay?
We are winning this game.
We are winning this game. Look, the Buccaneers won by 17 the last time they played the Commanders. The Commanders get 17, but we're putting 45 on their heads. 45-17 is the score.
Wow. I didn't even go to your shot, so it doesn't really count as a score prediction.
Oh.
Stank, you got any closing?
Latte, you want to give your score prediction?
Latte, your score prediction? No, Stank.
People ask all the time where Latte is. Latte works for the team now. We're not kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. He works for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why isn't he here? Because he works for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. You think it's a joke, but it isn't. It's real.
I gotta say something. We got a guy in the chat named Rickety Cricket. Hilarious. I don't know what team he's a fan of, but that is a really good name. I'll give you credit there.
I think he's a piece of shit Commanders fan or Redskins.
Yeah.
Well, he's a piece of shit. Cool. Imagine wanting to be associated with hogs and pigs and all that. I mean, dirty.
The pig pen.
Oh, he's a Bucs fan. Sorry, Rickety.
Sorry, Rickety.
Bro, that's
Sorry, Rick.
That's a Florida man name. I should have known better. My bad, bro.
Yeah. Probably out there in a rickety ass little fucking rickety Chevy truck. That one you gotta like kick before you start. All right. Anyways, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will be back Monday night.
Wait, wait. Don't we have that call-in show?
Maybe.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow is Friday night.
Tuned. Yes,
it's technically the second Friday of the month, which means that we should be doing the Bucs call-in roast show.
My wife, not a big fan of the Friday show. I'm gonna straight up tell you.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If we do that show, we will be cutting into college football playoff time.
Not just that.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like the talk is over. I really do. I feel like the talk is over. You want to talk some shit? Let's do it Monday. Let's do a hybrid Monday, Victory Monday call-in show. That's what I want.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wait. I like it. Let's do it.
I started rewatching Always Sunny.
It's really funny when Izzy makes comments as if we've asked for his opinion. Like,
I unlike you, I appreciate Izzy's opinion.
He's in a closet. He is in a closet. Izzy,
we get that victory. I think there needs to be a victory song from the closet Monday.
Hell no. We're not doing that much. No, that's too much.
What do you think?
How about a victory reading?
Ooh, I like it.
Hell no.
We'll come up with something.
Have him read from some book associated with champions.
Izzy, I feel like you took dance when you were young.
Don't you dare.
No?
Don't you think about it.
No?
Yeah, Stank,
you're Puerto Rican, bro.
I think
what? A little fucking bachata?
No, don't you even dare go that route.
Izzy, have you ever tap danced?
No. Hell no.
You look like you can tap.
There's nothing better than watching a grown man tap dance. Okay,
bro,
it's bad enough that for 18 years I had to watch recital after recital tap dancers. But every once in a while they bring in like the parents or the tap teacher and be like,
"Yeah,
I don't want to see that, bro.
No,
it's
sir.
not good."
You don't think Izzy? I think Izzy can tap.
No, hey, look, unlike Shakira's hips don't lie, mine do. You don't want to see that.
Lie? Well, listen, bro. You can
always ask you to do a Shakira type dance.
Nobody's asking for that kind of dance.
Yeah, why did you even go that route? That's a little odd.
I did say bachata, which is one of the most sexual forms of dance. If you ever watch people dance it, it's basically fucking on the dance floor with clothes on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty raw.
Raw. Interesting. All right, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We may or may not see you guys tomorrow night because college football playoffs, Stank possibly getting divorced, which I think shouldn't stop us, honestly. But yeah,
like divorce, bro. I'm a hostage.
There's
no divorce in this woman.
I think the college football playoff game is probably going to be the reason why we don't do it. We probably should just do a hybrid on Monday. Victory Monday call-in show does sound pretty damn good.
I like it.
With the reward for Izzy having to read from the closet and some sort of champion.
Dance. He's going to perform.
Some sort of performance from Izzy. 100%.
Phantasmo live
on the Loose Cannons.
On Loose Cannons.
Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a comment with your score prediction and your keys to the game and why you think Stank should talk less on this pod. Go Bucs.
Girly Gamer Nerd said that victory doesn't involve torture. You must be new here.
We only torture on Victory Mondays.
That's right.
Because that's nothing more victorious than teaching somebody you love.
That's right.
That you don't
teach them a lesson.
Yeah, teach them a lesson. That's right. Victory lessons coming up on Monday night, folks. See you.
It's kickoff. Set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa, baby. 8-1-3.